The first ceremony remembering the servicemen of the First World War was held in 1920, and George V led a procession past the newly unveiled cenotaph on the 11th of November, commemorating the peace. When we think of the Edwardian era, that first decade of the 20th century, we think of the elegance and glamour, the high living opulence of the high society at that moment. That era was brought to a close by the outbreak of the First World War in 1914, and it really brought about a change to the monarchy. Instead of that high living moment, we find George V as king. He's leader of the armed forces, and he takes on a new role. He's leading the country in a sense of duty. George V and Queen Mary both visited the Western Front during the war, and George V collected a number of souvenirs from the trenches, which he housed in a First World War museum back at Windsor Castle. But after the war, he also collected works by photographers such as Olive Edis, who was one of the few given an official remit to capture images of the battlefields of Flanders after the war, these bleak, devastating images of destruction and devastation. The artist Frank O. Salisbury was commissioned to create large-scale images of George V and Queen Mary at the Western Front, and also the image of the cenotaph. In the collection today, we have the sketches that he worked up for these larger images that were collected by King George V and Queen Mary and hung in Buckingham Palace. The acquisitions and commissions made in the First World War reflect that sense of solemn duty. And after the war, we get a sense of thanksgiving of the peace that's been brought about. And George V casts himself really as the chief mourner of the nation. The First World War brought about a huge change to the monarchy. From that high living moment of the first decade of the 20th century, we move to a period where the monarch leads the nation in a sense of duty. Many of the traditions associated with the aftermath of the war are continued to this day, and the king still lays a wreath every year at the cenotaph.